could tell you a little bit about my very great friend Sienna. So I distinctly remember the first words that Sienna spoke to me. It was at the 2018 year-end banquet, and suddenly, out of nowhere, this girl approaches me and says, "You seem like a fun human, and we could totally go on adventures together." Now remember, I literally never spoken to her in my life, and then she continues. She looks to Rena and she says, "Yeah, we could totally kidnap her." First words ever. So I'm not gonna lie, in that moment, I was kind of unsure and maybe a little afraid, but I had no idea that I had just met one of the best friends that a girl could ever ask for. So, you must all be on the edge of your seats wondering just what kind of friend Sienna is. Well, let me tell you. So Sienna is the friend who will incorporate their name into the theme song of a kids' TV show and sing it while puddle jumping. She is the one who will take it upon herself to capture a snake for you and pet it and then encourage you to pet it while out for a nice Sunday stroll. If your Friday night plans include standing on the couch dancing and singing old school Taylor Swift songs, you better invite Sienna. Oh, who am I kidding? It was probably her idea. Sienna is also the friend who will spontaneously road trip and karaoke with you for the entire 4-hour drive. And if you want to have a close call with a flock of geese, no worries. Sienna has no reservations about picking up geese eggs off the dock while they're screaming at you to back off. And if you're feeling the need to have a midnight country dock dance party, then Sienna is your girl. But in all honesty, Sienna is the greatest friend who will hang upside down off the couch with you simply because it's what you need in the moment. Sienna will spend a long Saturday night sitting on the floor, talking through life's deep stuff. She's one of the most resilient and inspiring people I know, who's so kind and so compassionate. Sienna is the friend we all need because she loves and cares an incredible amount for all of her friends and their needs. If you want to be loved and supported no matter what, you need to hang out with Sienna. Because Sienna is the friend who's an answer to your prayers, the one who you love like a sister. Sienna, when I think about you, I just can't help but smile, and not only because of all the odd and hilarious times we've had together, but because of your resilience, your faith, and the embodiment of the love of Jesus that you carry with you wherever you go. Sienna, I'm so blessed to call you my friend, and I thank the Lord that He brought you into my life. You're graduating. I'm so proud of you. You did it. This is so exciting. I'm so excited for you and for all that you're going to accomplish and the way that God's going to work in your life. Congratulations. I love you so much.
If there's one thing I'm going to remember about Seth, it's that he wasn't born in a Christian home, but he was born in a hospital, and then grew up in a Christian home. I learned that from him when that was how he opened his testimony at a UCM Thursday night a few years ago. I'm sure I didn't do his comedic timing any justice just then, but for those of you that were there, I'm sure you remember that. Of course, that's obviously not the only thing I can tell you about Seth, so let me back up. Seth and I started becoming friends in a similar manner to how some of my other significant friendships developed in UCM, getting rides to church. Seth and I met each other through core group and second semester of our first year, and we were invited by people in that core group to start attending KGF Church in Kelowna. Seth had a car, and I did not, so we carpooled to church together for the rest of that semester. As proven by Seth's willingness to drive me to church and back to campus, he is a very reliable person. For the younger generations of UCMers watching, here's a little history for you. Seth had been on the Doulos team our second year, and then left school temporarily for a co-op term afterwards. In the middle of our third year by second semester, our president had to step down due to health reasons, and we had to do some rearranging of roles. Seth came back to UBCO, and those of us on the Doulos team at the time immediately thought of him as an extra helping hand that we could use on the team. He then became our Doulos member at large for the rest of that year. It wasn't difficult for him to take a share of the responsibilities, and his nature of reliability and responsibility has continued to be evident into this past year on his last stint on the Doulas team. And of course, in the middle of all of Seth's schooling, his co-op, and his responsibilities with UCM during his degree, he's still constantly clearly paying attention to Jesus working in his life. And I've seen and heard that in the occasional open mic testimonies that he's been willing to share this year. Seth, I think I can speak on behalf of all of UCM that we want to say thank you for being who you are and for giving this community the privilege to have you not only as a member, but as a very reliable leader who we are going to miss dearly. May God bless all the work that he has for you after finishing at UBCO. Hello and welcome back to the University Christian Morning Show. I'm joined today by my co-host and friend, Miranda.
Good morning, Josiah. I'm happy to be here. Let's kick today off with a riddle. Tell me, what do these three things have in common? Coffee, chocolate, and tea.
I don't know, Miranda. They're all caffeinated?
Yes, and they are also the three main ingredients to make your very own Paige Kinnenberg.
Paige Kinnenberg? What is that?
Well, imagine this. You're standing in a peaceful valley, and on the other side of the mountain in front of you is restructuring of the United Nations. A Paige Kinnenberg is what you need to scale the side of that mountain, fix modern politics, and remove the black market as we know them. Now, you do have other options, but if you really want to smash the patriarchy along the way and make it back in time for church in the morning, you don't really have another choice.
Oh, I see. So if I needed to become fluent in a new language in 4 months, I could use a Paige Kinnenberg?
Exactly.
Or graduate with a law degree before the age of 24?
Well, that one hasn't been confirmed just yet, but we're working on it, and you've got the idea.
Well, what else can you tell me about this Paige Kinnenberg?
Well, she's easily embarrassed by her friends' antics, but she loves us anyway. Now, Josiah, I do understand that you have some experience with a Paige Kinnenberg in your own life. Can you tell us about that?
You know what? Now that I've learned who and what a Paige Kinnenberg is, I realize that I have had experiences when she's made a positive impact in my life.
Really? Do tell.
Well, as regular viewers know, I grew up in the Philippines, and in the Philippines, winter doesn't exist. So, among other things, ice skating wasn't a thing for me growing up.
Fascinating. How then did you adapt to the Canadian customs and sports?
I had help from a Paige Kinnenberg. Gavin, roll the clip.
I want to remember this forever.
I want to document this. This is a momentous occasion.
Josh, as you can see, he's a prodigy.
A true natural.
Mastering it right out of the gate.
Let's give this boy a hockey stick and send him to the Olympics. Now, isn't that inspiring? I know in my own life, Paige has been a thoughtful and dedicated friend. She's always ready with her latest crazy story, a big smile, and dark chocolate. I had the pleasure of working with her for a season, and let me tell you, Josh, antics were had, all the way from games to goats.
Well, unfortunately, we're running out of time for those stories. Here at the University Christian Morning Show, we always like to take some time to acknowledge not only antics and stories, but how Jesus changes everything. I've got to hear more about those antics later.
That's right, Josiah. Where would we be without Jesus' impact on our lives? Now, tell me, how can you see this in the life of Paige Kinnenberg?
Well, as a first year, Paige is a furious dreamer passionate about reforming society into a better place. Over the years, we've noticed this passion transformed into meaningful action. Being surrounded by all kinds of people, Paige spreads the love of Christ and safety found in the gospel to those around her as the first step to meaningful change.
It really warms my heart to see such a strong, independent woman such as Paige Kinnenberg and who she's become. Folks, if you don't have one already, I highly recommend going out and finding yourself one. The qualities you see in Paige Kinnenberg don't happen that often in nature. It's certainly worth the effort of looking, though.
Well, you heard it here first. That's all the time we have today, but on behalf of Channel Zoom and the University Christian Morning Show, we wish you a sunny summer and lots of rock climbing. Join us next time.
But until then, remember, it's fine.
It's fine.
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 It's fine. Yeah.
So, things to close.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a new
This program is funded and approved by Pastor James Perot.
I am so excited to be back on your screen to talk about someone else who is very near and dear to my heart, and that is Jen. For some of you in the audience who are newer to UCM, you might be wondering, who is that girl? I've never seen her before in my life. Coincidentally, that's also what Jen was thinking when we met on the Power to Change hike on Saturday, September 10th, 2016, because she didn't remember that we were in the same Create orientation group just a few days before. To be fair, we did not talk much on that first day, and we have made up for it since then, but I couldn't help but bring it up. After our unmemorable start, we began to see a lot of each other in UCM, Power to Change, classes, around res, and I was able to worm my way into her life. Although I think it'd be a little more accurate to say that Jen, the extrovert, saw me being super shy and decided to take me under her wing. From searching for and attending church together, to being in the same small groups, to nursing school and work, she has been a role model, mentor, and friend to me. But back to those of you who might not know her, let me just introduce Jennifer Sacchetti, née King, to you all. So this is a picture of Jen. This is Jen having the best day of her life because she got to pet corgis, which are her favorite dogs. This is Jen respecting her British roots. This is Jen displaying her helpful and caring nature, which is what makes her the best nurse in the world. And this is a film we made about 1.5 weeks ago of a toy she got from a Kinder Surprise egg. One of my favorite things about Jen is her chaotic energy and humor, and I think it's partially what got me through nursing school. I'm so glad to have so many fond memories of us laughing until we can't breathe over the years, sometimes over the most random things. In her first year, Jen contributed a lot to UCM through volunteering, but then moved on to make an even larger impact on the wider UBCO community by being an RA in the Nicola building for a few years. The mark she has made on the school with her magnetic personality, leadership skills, and commitment to showing God's love to others is one that will remain with every person she has interacted with in her various roles. She has truly been a light on this campus and faithful to God as she welcomed people, including me, into a room to sit in her armchair and talk about their problems, as she shared her faith and values with fellow students, and as she took care of people's needs without judgment. I've had the privilege of being around for some of your highest days and some of your lowest days these past 5 years, watching you navigate school, work, and relationships. And I say privilege because I got to see what it looks like to be vulnerable, to cling to the Lord even in the hard times, and to point to Him in the joyful ones. When the day comes that we are no longer living in the same city, I will miss you a lot, but I am forever grateful for our friendship and for all the love and support that you have provided me. Congratulations on all that you have already achieved so early in your nursing career, and I know there are more amazing things to come.
David Chisholm, what a fantastic human being. For those of you who are watching this and are unfamiliar with that reference, David has become famous within the UCM community for his trademark questions and blessings, which include but are not limited to, what are you looking forward to? And have a fantastic rest of your week. David was one of the very first people I met in UCM, because we ended up being roommates over the Emerge weekend back in January of 2017. From there, we also both started regularly attending the Friday core group, led by a few people who are now UCM alumni. And then following that, I'm glad to have gotten to know David over the next few years and all the groups that we've been able to be a part of together, like the core group that he led a couple of years back, our UCM at UBCO trivia team this past summer. But I'm especially glad to have had the privilege to have David in one of my discipleship huddles this past year. In all the time that I've spent with him through the years of our friendship, I've always admired and been inspired by David's curiosity, his creativity, his insight, and especially his attentiveness when it comes to including others in. He's always been my inspiration in making sure students like first years or newcomers felt welcome and included in the group, and making sure that their voices were heard. David's been such a blessing to have in both my core group and my discipleship huddle this past year, and from everything that he's shared in every discussion, I see very clearly that he's continually willing to learn and grow in his apprenticeship to Jesus. And because of David's willingness to share and his very obvious ability to lead and ask thought-provoking questions in those groups, I myself have been able to continue growing in my faith, learning from him. David, I hope and pray that you are looking forward to whatever God has planned for you after you graduate, and I hope and pray that you just have a fantastic next chapter in your life.
I met Claire in our first year of university on a Power to Change hike and barbecue on Saturday, September 10th, 2016. On this hike, everyone's conversations were around the basic get-to-know-you questions, like, where are you from? What are you studying? What music do you like? And it was in those conversations where I found out that Claire was from North Vancouver, she was in the Faculty of Management, and she liked good music. And I just thought it was so great that she was from Vancouver because I'm from Burnaby, and I just decided to jump on any connection to home, never mind the fact that I was not familiar with North Van at all. But it was close enough, and Claire was nice, and she was a Christian, so I thought, great friend material. The next day, we were both at the UCM Welcome Barbecue, and I was happy to see that I wasn't the only person desperate for a community and free food. It turned out there were a bunch of us first-year ladies who were looking for that, and we all started to hang out a lot, hitting up the Power to Change in UCM events, studying together, having long dinners in the UNC, just doing what first years living on res do best. I got closer to Claire when we were both on the Doulas team in second and third year, but our friendship has continued to grow through hanging out outside of UCM, even though she left us to go on exchange and do co-op last year. But who is Claire? Well, she is a ray of sunshine. In the darkest of days, just to look at her face will cause happiness to fill your heart. Jen said I should Photoshop Claire's face as the Teletubby said, but I didn't have enough time to edit that, so I'll just let you imagine it. She's a foodie, a lover of the color purple, the actual color, traveling, animals, and more specifically, dogs. One of my favorite memories of Claire was witnessing her have actual tears in her eyes because she drove past a dog and couldn't pet it. She has the best hair, it's naturally wild and free, but it also looks great in a bun. And Claire, I don't know if anyone's ever told you that before, but you should do it. She's an amazing singer, dancer, drummer, and performer, which makes her a great karaoke buddy during any study breaks, car rides, or bachelorette parties. But more important than her fun personality is Claire's heart. She's a very interpersonal, empathetic, and considerate individual who is able to connect with and show love to the people around her so easily. And these are qualities that will make her a superstar at any HR job she gets. I'm not sure how or why I have so many video clips of Claire, but I'm glad that I do so you can all experience her joyful essence, even if not in person. With the pandemic happening, I wasn't even able to see Claire much in person this past year, but I've continued to learn more about her and to watch her grow in her relationship with Christ through hearing her insights, questions, and testimony in core group. Claire, I just want to thank you for being such a great friend and adding your sunshine to the UCM community. And whether you'll be in Kelowna or Vancouver after graduation, I hope that we will continue to have many adventures together.
Hi everyone, my name is Chin-Wen, and today I'll be talking about my good friend Chloe. I'll start by sharing about how we met. So Chloe and I met through a mutual friend in our first year because a friend had invited me to go to church with her, with Chloe and like some other people. So my first memory was that she was eating like a char siu bao, which is a Chinese barbecue pork bun. And I was really shocked to see it in Kelowna because I didn't know where to buy those baos. She immediately told me where she got it and how much it was, and that's just one detail you need to know about her. She knows her stuff and will give you information just as you ask for it. From that day on, we slowly became good friends, and I've been so blessed to have been able to share the past few years with her. Chloe is an intentional person, especially in her friendships. I remember the first time I noticed this was in first year, when towards the end of the school year, she had a schedule for meeting up with different friends before the summer break. She did this to check in with her friends and also to meet them one last time before summer started. Chloe is someone who is open to trying new things and ready for adventure. She's always researching about things to do in Kelowna, places to go, or even more recipes to try cooking or baking. I definitely have to say that without Chloe, I would have spent even more time hiding at home and refusing to go out. We visited new places, had new experiences, and tried many delicious foods due to her adventurous spirit, and I'm so grateful for that. For example, one thing we did this past summer was go caving near Nelson. It's definitely something I wouldn't have tried on my own, and it was awesome that she had such an idea so that we could try it out. Chloe's someone who is very honest and upfront with her thoughts and feelings. This honesty has led to many open discussions and also an opportunity for growth for both her and me. Chloe's also a great photographer, loves filming, is really creative, and she's always talking about new tech gadgets. She's really passionate about her work, and this is definitely evident through the work that she's put out. Finally, Chloe's really an A-plus friend. I've been really blessed to know and be close to her over the years, and I definitely thank God for her a lot. We've learned and grown a lot together, had a lot of fun and laughs, many interesting discussions, and I can only look forward to what the future holds for her. Chloe, you've been such a great friend to me. I love all the chats we have, adventures, eating, hanging out, watching movies, and me critiquing them too much while you tell me to stop so I won't ruin your fantasies. I've just had so much fun with you. Thank you for all the time we spent together, and I want you to know that I really do treasure you as a friend, even though I don't say it much. You're really precious to me and to God, and I hope and pray that as you graduate, you will continue to hold on to God and have full trust in Him as we navigate this new season in our lives.
David, we have to do Chelsea's grad speech, and we only have 3 minutes to talk about how amazing she is. What should we do?
I don't know even where to start.
The beginning. How did you even meet Chelsea?
Oh, that's actually pretty cool. So 2 summers ago, I had a flight that was delayed, so I decided to go to summer UCM that time. I talked to her for the very first time that time. And if it weren't for my delayed flight, I don't think I would have started talking to Chelsea. My first impressions of her was that she's friendly, welcoming, and also a good listener to someone whom she just met. And then we got to know each other a bit more through talking every week at summer UCM.
Oh, that's so nice. I met Chelsea through volunteering at Destination UBC. She was the senior leader of the nursing team, and oh man, don't tell her I said this, but I was actually a bit intimidated by her. I looked her up on Facebook the previous night, and I thought she was just so cool. But then I quickly learned that she was also the sweetest and nicest person ever, and we became UBC, UCM, and nursing buddies.
Ah, cute. Okay, let's make a list of things we appreciate about Chelsea and show people what she's like.
Good idea. I will write them down.
Chelsea always recommends so many good places to see and things to do around Kelowna. The only thing is that when she calls something a walk, it's actually a hike. And when she calls something a hike, it actually turns out to be like a climb.
Good at walking.
She's also a really great person to have chats with, both deep or lighthearted ones. We've had so many of those during hikes, walks, trips, and hangouts.
So true. Good chats and great travel buddy.
Yeah, speaking of chats, we have to advertise Chats with Chelsea. When COVID just started, I was so impressed by her initiative to start conversations and make people feel more connected through social media. She definitely has a gift in connecting with people and building community.
I love Chats with Chelsea. How should we integrate it without making it weird? Like just put her Instagram handle in the chat?
We can just think of something later.
Yeah. But you know what I really love about her? She is such an enthusiastic and bubbly person, but she's also very honest with the things that she struggles with and is not afraid of difficult conversations. I remember one time I was just sitting in the collegium and she suddenly asked me about what I think about abortion. Her desire to know God more and to serve him is evident, especially in how she took on core group leading this year too.
Yeah, I've also seen her sharing the love of God with others through caring for people in her interactions with patients in school and work, and through her volunteering with Hope Outreach. Okay, so should we end with something like a joke? How about, Chelsea, congratulations on graduating with your degree in needle poking?
David, please, nursing is not a joke.
Oh, okay, fine. How about something emotional? Some emotional closing words. Like, I'm sure wherever God may lead you, after graduating, you would excel in serving others and would always bring a smile to people's lives with your outgoing and fun personality.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, great. So I guess now we just need to start writing a natural speech.
Right. I hope we finish this on time.
I first met Ben 2 years ago in summer UCM. Other than his name, the second thing that I knew about him was that Curtis told me that he has an Asian sister. That for sure got the conversation going because one does not just stop a conversation after hearing such an interesting remark. I remember that we would sometimes talk for so long after summer UCM outside James's house that we felt bad that we might be keeping his children awake. Our conversations usually range from debates on having seat warmers in your car to whether or not salad can be considered a real meal, because apparently if meat is nowhere to be found on a dish, it can't be a meal, at most just an appetizer. Throughout the times, there's a few things I've learned about Ben. The first being his lack of interest in social media and emojis. The second being not liking to take photos. The third being his low-key attitude towards birthdays. One example which demonstrates all of these things well was his birthday celebration 2 years ago. I had to talk to him in order to find out when his birthday was since he doesn't use social media. Secondly, when I tried looking back for photos of that day, I couldn't find any. Right, because Ben doesn't like photos. Thirdly, he told all of us that that was not a birthday celebration. It was a mere gathering of friends, which just so happens to be on his birthday. Anyways, in these few years I've known Ben for, throughout his interactions with myself and others, I can see that he's a very caring and considerate person. For the trips I went on with him, he always made sure that everyone would have enough food and that everyone would arrive there safe and sound thanks to his driving. He's also a very hardworking person, no matter when it comes to his work or school. He pours a lot of time and effort into doing his best he can for capstones and studying. I'm really impressed by how he pulled 12-hour days working nonstop for 2 months last summer as well. Ben also is a solid Christian and has a lot of knowledge about faith. I enjoy our long walks with faith conversation interspersed with satire and humor. Lastly, Ben, I wish you all the best in your next chapter of your life, no matter what God has planned for you, whether it be work or further education. May God guide you and continue to bless you abundantly.
Good morning, class. Thumbs up if you can hear me. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thanks for showing up. I'm Dr. Jen I'm Dr. Jen, and I am here to tell you about the wonderful phenomenon that is Angela Wing-Kei Lun, also known as Angel. Angela. Now, before we begin, let's go back to when I first discovered this incredible human. Now, let's go back to September 2016. 2 first-year nursing students, Angela and Jen, in the same Create group, day 1 of school. Could this be fate?
Yeah, it wasn't fate. We didn't really talk that day. I think I was just nervous. She's introverted. But you know what? Worked out at the end, so it's fine.
Now, fast forward a few days, and these two meet again on a hike with a local Christian group, Power to Change. On this hike, they also meet some other wonderful human beings. Then the next day, on a Sunday evening, this new group of pals goes to a group called University Christian Mingle, Christian Ministries, where they discover that Jesus changes everything and your story matters. Now, class, you might be thinking, that's probably where Angela's journey with this new group UCM finishes.
Yeah, you would be wrong.
Angela has been a part of numerous ministries within UCM, including being on the Doulos team for 4 years, including this past year being the president, leading discipleship huddles as well as core groups, and volunteering for numerous events. Now, class, you might be thinking, this Angela, she sounds too good to be true. Is she even real? Don't ask me. Listen to the experts. Angela is both sweet and strong. She is empathetic, kind-hearted, smart, beautiful, hilarious, and will make a wonderful nurse that any of you would be lucky to have caring for you. Angela, I love you. I am so excited for what God has planned for you and so honored to walk alongside you. And congratulations on graduating.